And I also think that what was so incredible about what happened in that elevator was the woman who said, your one decision, Senator Flake, your one decision is telling women all across this country why bother coming forward if we've been abused? Why bother? The man is just going to get to go forward into powerful positions. I mean, that was extremely, extremely powerful. And also, let's keep it real for a second. Let's keep it real, okay? Jeff Flake, senator from Arizona, is retiring. He announced his retirement a while ago. So while Jeff Flake is sitting there thinking about, should I do the right thing and vote no? What happens when Republicans and Democrats announce their retirement? They sit back and they wait for that lobbyist money. They wait to become a lobbyist. They could sit back, smoke cigars, be a lobbyist, get a nice boat, get a nice car, and finally cash in on their corruption in D.C. You think Jeff Flake wants to jeopardize his day in the sun, which will be his retirement, becoming a lobbyist? Because that's what's going to happen. Of course, that's what he's going to do. Bob Corker's retiring too. That's what he's going to do. And Bob Corker, senator of Tennessee, announced yesterday that he's voting for Kavanaugh. So, all right, no investigation. A woman is in tears here, credibly recounting being assaulted. Well, got to take the money. Follow the money, Lebowski. It's always about the money. So, at the end of the day, the Republican Party, and I take it to the Democrats just as much as the Republican Party. If you watch me, you know how I feel about the Democratic Party. I'm not giving them a pass. But in this case, this isn't really about the Democratic Party's corruption. This is about the fact that the Republican Party, which is all pretty much white men, they have one black senator, I believe, and not a lot of female representatives in the Republican Party. They are honestly willing, by the way, they are not just willing to approve and confirm somebody who might have, again, I use the word alleged because there has not been an investigation. Although my impulse, I believe what Christine Ford is saying, I also believe in innocence till proven guilty. I don't think the two are mutually exclusive. You could believe a woman's accusation, but also say, all right, we want an investigation. I believe both things. I don't think she's lying. I think she's telling the truth. But I also think Kavanaugh, in fairness, there should be an investigation. I also think the fact that he is not strongly calling for an investigation shows that he's lying and he's afraid of what could be found. But putting those things aside, the Republican Party is honestly at this point willing to confirm a man that has been accused 3 times now of either sexual assault or gang rape or this. But not only that, they're willing to accuse a man who's been accused of that and also potentially has lied about it to the American people. So you're going to nominate a man who either is both potentially guilty of sexual assault, violent sexual crimes, or is a compulsive and psychopathic liar. Do you want to judge with those traits? I guess the Republican Party says, well, if it'll help us finally get rid of the unions, if it'll help us, overturn Roe versus Wade, if it'll help us preserve Citizens United, all right. He did some shady stuff when he was a kid, but, oh well. I mean, there's literally no rational excuse for what the Republican Party is doing. Which brings us to, and again, I'm live. I don't know if there's been any. Trump says, I defer to the Senate for now, but calls Ford very compelling. That's what Trump said. I defer to the Senate. That's a bullshit statement, by the way, because Trump has been basically lobbying the people on the bubble for Kavanaugh to vote yes for Kavanaugh. So Trump is playing both sides because his advisors have correctly told him, we're already at risk of losing the House, maybe the Senate. You cannot alienate women further. So really it comes down to Mitch McConnell. Like I said, I think there is that much of a chance that Mitch McConnell will agree to an FBI investigation. I think he would rather literally put in somebody under the cloud of multiple assault allegations if it means they get a 5-4 advantage on the Supreme Court. I mean, hell, this is the party that literally stole an election in 2000. They literally stole the election from corrupt Al Gore. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And really, at the end of the day, if this goes to the Senate floor, without an investigation, it comes down to Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Senator Susan Collins of Maine, Senator, are you waiting for this? Joe Manchin, that Democrat from West Virginia, Senator Heidi Heitkamp, that Democrat from North Dakota. Essentially, it comes down to two female senators who have obviously shown that they want more of an investigation and they are very unsettled, and two fake Democrats, they're really Republicans, in Joe Manchin, who is up for re-election in November, and right now it's basically a toss-up for him in West Virginia, and Heidi Heitkamp, who's up for re-election in North Dakota, and she right now is losing that re-election. So it comes down to two corrupt Democrats who take God knows how much money from big banks. I've reported on both before. God knows how much money from the big banks. God knows how much money from fossil fuel companies, are total frauds, pretend to be progressive. Heidi Heitkamp sat there and turned her head and said nothing as Native Americans and environmental activists had their fucking heads being banged into the ground, tear gas exploding in front of their face, grenades being shot at them, said nothing during No Dapple. So she's not exactly a profile in courage. Triana be fine. Thanks for the $5. Triana says the Republicans need that Cav to protect them from all those mean, lying women. It's possible. It's possible. And press the share button. Let's get this out there. I'm not forgetting about you folks on Facebook, too. Definitely press the share button on Facebook. Unfortunately, Facebook has been suppressing the hell out of my channel, so most of the time, people don't even see when I'm live on Facebook. So I need you guys to share it so we can get it out to more people. Same for YouTube. Thanks for sharing and caring and all that good stuff. So what do I think? You put a gun to my head, and please don't. Do I think Joe Manchin and Heidi Heitkamp are going to vote against Brett Kavanaugh? Well, let's see who they have voted for. Joe Manchin and Heidi Heitkamp, if you recall, voted for the CEO of ExxonMobil to be the Secretary of State of the United States. If we weren't living in such crazy times, that would still be crazy. So these two have voted for the CEO of ExxonMobil, essentially for the United States to become the United States of oil, which I always call it the United States of oil and the United Corporations of America. What there, says Jordan, what do you think will be the outcome? I'm telling you what I think. Hold on. I think there is I think there's a slim chance in hell that Joe Manchin or Heidi Heitkamp votes against Brett Kavanaugh, because if they vote against Brett Kavanaugh, they are both sealing their political fate, and they will both lose re-election, 110%. So then you have to come to the question: have either of them shown the willingness to risk their political career to do what's right? Because for Manchin and for Heitkamp, those are two. West Virginia and North Dakota are Trump country. If they vote against Trump's Supreme Court nominee, that's a political suicide mission. They will lose re-election. Have I seen anything from those two to indicate that they would do what is right? No, I have not. So then you're talking about Lisa Murkowski, and you're talking about Susan Collins, and it appears now Jeff Flake. Well, if Jeff Flake votes no, which today he indicated without an FBI investigation, he would have a hard time voting yes for final confirmation. If Flake votes no, if Collins votes no, if Murkowski votes no, and now you have John Tester and Joe Donnelly voting no, I believe, somebody would have to tell me the count, I believe if Collins and Murkowski and Flake voted no, along with those Democrats, he would not move. They would not have the votes. I think, honestly, to me, I cannot see, I could be wrong, I do not see Murkowski or Collins voting for him without an FBI investigation. And from what happened today, it seems Jeff Flake is leaning towards voting no if there is no FBI investigation, which leaves it to he would not. I don't think he would get through if they don't have Flake, Murkowski, and Collins. I don't think they would get through. Which also, Manchin and Heitkamp would almost definitely vote yes if Flake, Murkowski, and Collins votes no. Because if Manchin and Heitkamp are able to save their hide and vote yes, so they don't face the wrath of Trump country in West Virginia and North Dakota, if they vote yes, but they already know the Republicans don't have the votes, they'll do that in a heartbeat. They'll vote yes, and it won't be an election issue because they voted for Trump's nominee. So it really comes down to Flake not being a Flake, and Kavanaugh, Collins, and Murkowski. And who knows? Maybe some other Republicans will, for once in their life, have their hearts beat. Who knows? But let's be clear here. So if your Republican uncle or your Republican friends or anybody says there's already been 6 FBI investigations and the FBI doesn't make conclusions, yeah, there hasn't been an investigation into these specific allegations. There's been an investigation. Basically, there's been a background check. There hasn't been an actual formal FBI investigation into these specific charges. And the only common sense reason that they don't want one is because they know bad things would come out of it. I don't give a damn what Brett Kavanaugh's calendar says from the year 1982. I don't. And I don't believe what Brett Kavanaugh was saying yesterday. Even though people have said he gets drunk a lot. No, he wasn't drunk. It's stomach problems. My mother taught me if one person doesn't like you, so be it. If 2 people don't like you, so be it. But if 20 to 30 people are saying the same thing about you, maybe you got to look in the mirror.